Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, affectionately known as SEAS. My name is Julie Holbrook, and I oversee the graduate admissions process here at the school. Today, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk through the application process with you, give a broad overview of the graduate degrees that we offer, and walk you through the actual application. If you have questions at any time about our school, our programs, or the application process, you can always email us at admissions@ceas.harvard.edu. The first thing we'll do is take a look at a couple slides that give an overview of our programs and the application and some of our best advice. We offer the PhD in 4 areas: applied mathematics, applied physics, computer science, and engineering sciences. Within engineering sciences, there are 4 subfields: bioengineering, electrical engineering, environmental science and engineering, and material science and mechanical engineering. The PhD generally takes anywhere from 4 to 6 years to complete. We also offer admission to terminal master's degree programs in 2 areas: electrical engineering and computational science and engineering. We offer a 1-year Master of Science degree, the SM, or a 2-year Master of Engineering degree, the ME. There is a research component with the ME, but not with the SM. How do you apply? Good news, it's a pretty simple, straightforward process, and it's wholly electronic. Applications are due on December 15th, 2015. The application will shut down that day, and we don't accept late applications, so don't delay in submitting your materials to us. In fact, I would encourage you to submit them as early as you can. Hundreds of people try to submit their applications on the deadline day, and technical glitches have been known to happen. The application includes the application form, which is similar to lots of applications that you're completing most likely, the application fee, the statement of purpose, the CEAS supplemental form, 3 letters of recommendation, GRE scores and Toefl scores if necessary, and copies of all undergraduate and graduate transcripts. You'll upload your transcripts as PDFs to the application, and your letter writers will submit their letters directly to the online application, so there isn't anything for you to mail to us in hard copy. You'll have your score reports sent from ETS to code 3451. This is the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences code, and you'll be submitting all of your application materials directly to the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. The online application is available from the Graduate School's website at the link below. You'll click the link and create an online account with a login name and a password. Then you'll be able to move through the application at your leisure, going from page to page and saving your work and returning to it as needed. Here's the meat of our presentation. We get lots of questions about the ways to make your application the best it can be. My best advice to you is to use the application to show that you've done your homework about our school. We need to know that there's a good match of research interests between you and our faculty and the projects that they're working on. So the application is the place to show us that. The best place to learn about our faculty and the research happening at the school is on our website. This hyperlink below is a good first page to look at. You'll be asked in your statement of purpose to talk about your research interests and your goals. That's a really important part of the application for us. It's the best way for us to get to know you and hear you talk about your research in your own voice. If there are particular faculty members or research projects at SEAS that you're interested in, feel free to list them in your statement of purpose. It shouldn't be any longer than 2 to 2.5 pages. Keep in mind we're reading hundreds and hundreds of these. You'll also be asked to identify 3 SEAS faculty members in whose research you're most interested. This is a part of the application we'll look at in just a moment. This allows us to put your application in front of the right pairs of eyes at the very beginning of the process. Again, our faculty could be each reviewing hundreds of applications, so it's really important that we get yours in front of the right set of eyes. To that end, we'll also ask you to rank order your areas of research interest 1 through 3 on the CEAS supplemental form on the application. We'll show you that in just a moment. We are asked often about who should write the letters and what makes a really good letter of recommendation. We require 3 letters of recommendation. Of the 3, at least 2 should be from academic sources, meaning faculty members who you knew as an undergraduate or graduate student, somebody with whom you took a number of classes and can be really specific about your research aptitude and your preparation for graduate school. Maybe it's someone in whose lab you worked over the summer or during the semester on a research project. The best letters are specific and can speak about your ability to succeed in our graduate program. We have a number of students who have been out of school for a year or two and have been working in a national lab or in industry or in a professional role, and it's perfectly appropriate to ask somebody from that part of your world to write a letter. We recommend giving the letter writers plenty of time. Most likely they're being asked by a number of students to write letters of recommendation. So start thinking about who they are now and give them at least a month, but even better, more time to submit a letter on your behalf. The general GRE is required for all applicants. Some students also take the subject test and will happily accept that test score as well. The Toefl is required for any student for whom English is not a native language and who does not have an undergraduate 4-year degree from a school where English is the language of instruction. We get a number of questions from students who might have a master's degree from a school where English is the language of instruction. But if the master's degree is only 1 or 2 years, it does not fulfill the Toefl requirement. We do not have a minimum GRE score, but our minimum Toefl score is 80. We recommend that you take the Toefl and the GRE no later than October of 2015 so that your score report can be sent to the graduate school in time for the deadline. If you take this test much later than that, we recommend expediting your test scores. What happens after you've submitted your application? Unfortunately, you wait. We'll start reviewing applications right after the deadline, and we'll review applications January and into February as well. In early to mid-February, we'll finalize our admissions decisions, and the graduate school will then send out official admissions notifications to students. If you've been admitted to one of our programs, we'll ask for a decision by April 15th. This is a standard date across most schools in the US, and most likely any school that you've been admitted to will ask for a decision on that day. Between December 15th and mid-February, there isn't much you can do. Just know that we're reviewing each application carefully and thoroughly. You likely have more questions, and our website gives lots more information and answers. Here are several of the most useful pages that you'll want to visit. This first page about degree requirements will actually talk to you about the specific degree requirements for each program, the number of courses required, the information about the qualifying exam for the doctoral program, for example. Information for prospective students about the application and the school in general can be found on these last 2 pages. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always email us at admissions@cease.harvard.edu. The next thing we'll do is take a look at the application and go through the pages that generate the most questions from applicants. If you've already created an online account, you're welcome to log into it and sort of follow along with us. Otherwise, we'll just be looking at a generic application that has been started in my name. So this is after I've created a login and password and logged in. You'll see that my application has not been submitted, and if you click on this blue button, you're brought to the application where you'll see your name up top and that your application is in process. If your application's been submitted, this will say your application has been submitted. The navigation along the left side of the screen are the different pages of the application. We won't go through all of them, but we will go through the ones that generate the most questions from applicants and also the ones that we consider the most important. So application instructions and biographical information, contact information, this is all pretty standard, and it's likely that you're filling out some version of it for every application you're completing. Program selection is the first page I want to take a look at. As I mentioned earlier, we fall underneath the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences umbrella, and they have over 50 departments, and all of those students are using this application. So when you click on selecting your program, you'll see a long list of departments, everything from the social sciences to the humanities to the natural sciences. You'll want to pick engineering and applied sciences. And once you've done that, you'll have the opportunity to select a subfield within it: applied mathematics, applied physics, computer science, or any of the engineering disciplines. For today's purposes, I'll be a PhD in applied mathematics applicant. Confirming the PhD here. And then if I were continuing to move along in the application, I would save and continue. The test scores page is where we'll ask for you to submit your test scores, and then other generic information, previous applications, academic background, additional background, employment history. Again, these are all pretty basic pages and just provide general information about you. Here's the faculty page I referenced earlier. This is where we'll ask you to list faculty members in whose work you're interested. You'll see that the question says, list Harvard faculty whose research fields seem closest to your own interest. I'm going to advise you to think about this as listing C's faculty whose research fields seem closest to your own interest. We have many collaborations across the university with faculty members in physics, in chemistry, in the biological sciences, in the medical school, but it's really important to us that you list C's faculty members in these spots. We need to know that there are members of the C's faculty who will be able to help you along with your research and advise your research. The list of C's faculty is lengthy. We have over 100 faculty, and you'll be able to find all of them on the website, which we'll look at in just a moment. If you've had any contact with any Harvard faculty members, it's not required, but you may have reached out to a particular faculty member. This is a place where you can list whether or not you were in contact with them by email, in phone, over the phone, or in person. Again, not required. And if you haven't been in touch with anybody, don't worry about it. All right, the next several pages of the application, again, are sort of more generic. We'll ask questions about your mathematics background, your language background. We'll ask you to list your courses. Here's the statement of purpose, which we touched on earlier. Again, the statement of purpose should be no longer than 2 to 2.5 pages, and it's your opportunity to tell us why you're a good fit for C's and why C's is a good fit for you. So read up on the school and be really specific about your goals and your research interests. Next up is your resume or CV. You'll just upload that as a PDF. As I said, some of the departments within the graduate school will ask for a writing sample. The C supplemental form is an important piece of the application. We'll link to that now. Only applicants in C's are expected to complete this form. And this is where you can rank order your areas of research interest. It's broken down by our main areas, so applied mathematics, applied physics, bioengineering, computer science, and so on. However, you're not limited to pick only those within applied mathematics if you're applying to applied math. There might be an area in applied mathematics that you're interested in, and then there might also be an area in computer science that you're interested in. So feel free to look at the entire list and pick the 3 that are most interesting to you, regardless of what heading they fall under. However, you shouldn't list more than 3. It's not useful to us once we get into the 4s and the 5s and the 6s. Common areas of overlap are applied physics and electrical engineering, applied mathematics and computer science, bioengineering and applied physics. So don't be limited and look at the entire list before you respond to the questions. Finally, there's the fall 2015 grade report. You'll need to submit your application on or before December 15th, and you will not be allowed to change any materials that you've submitted in it after it's been submitted. However, we recognize that for most of you, you will not have had your fall grades yet, and you'll get them likely a week or 2 after you submit the application. So for the first time this year, we're giving you the ability to log into the application after you've submitted it exclusively for the purpose of submitting your fall grades. You won't be able to change any other part of the application, but you will be able to let us know how you did in the fall term. The final things to look at the application are these last 3 links. Recommendations is the page where you'll list your letter writers and their email addresses, and their letter writers will then get an email from the system asking them to submit a letter on your behalf. And the check your application. This is really important. You can check your application at any time before or after you submit your application. This will tell you whether we've received your test scores or whether all 3 of your letters are in. It'll also tell you whether you've successfully submitted your application. So after the 15th, you'll want to go in and check to make sure that you've successfully submitted your application, and then keep an eye on it to make sure that your letters arrive and that your test scores arrive. We'll come back to me for the moment. And the last thing I want to show you are a couple pages on the CEAS website, which will be especially useful to you as you think about learning about our faculty and also answering questions about the application process. So this is the CEAS homepage. You'll see below in this red navigation, there are pages for prospective graduate students. That's going to tell you a lot about the application. The pages that I think are most important to talk about today are the faculty and research pages. This is where you'll be able to find a list of our faculty, either by research area or alphabetically by name, to help you learn a little bit more about them. If you click on this faculty and research, you'll get to a link called People. Come to People, and you'll see faculty. You'll be able to link ladder by non-ladder faculty or non-ladder faculty. But probably most importantly and most useful are research interests. When you click on this page for research interests, you'll see all of these different, our major areas, again, applied mathematics, applied physics, bioengineering, and then these subfields. These subfields are where faculty identify themselves as doing work in a particular field. So for modeling physical and biological phenomena and systems, you'll see that we have a number of faculty who identify as doing this kind of work. And these are faculty from across the school. Ariel Amir is an applied mathematician. Demba Ba is an electrical engineer. Katia Bertoli is a mechanical engineer. CEAS is very interdisciplinary, so we have a lot of faculty collaborating across disciplines. You'll be able to link to each particular faculty member's homepage and learn more about their specific work here. In applied physics, let's go to quantum devices. These are the handful of faculty who do work in quantum devices. And again, Marco Lonkar is also associated with our electrical engineering department. Lena Howe also has an appointment in physics. Philip Kim has an appointment in physics. So it's really reflective of how interdisciplinary and cross-disciplinary the school is. If you know the name of somebody that you're looking for, you can always search for them by name. And also, if you're interested in what teaching areas they align themselves with, you'll see that list down below. So faculty who align themselves with the applied mathematics teaching area will teach the majority of their courses in applied math, for example. Thanks all for coming. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, again, contact us at any time, and we look forward to reviewing your application.